What's up guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Shield Agent 2-pack. Now it comes in a blind paper box, so there's no window to show you exactly what's inside. On the front, we see an artwork of two authoritative looking agents, as well as the Shield logo down at the bottom. At the top of the box, we see a Marvel logo, and down to the bottom, there is some product information in a couple of languages. And down to the sides, the artwork actually extends, and you see another agent down here, together with a little note from Hasbro about plastic-free packaging. And then on to the back, once again a bigger Shield logo, as well as more product information. And down to the last side, we see a fourth Shield agent. So let's go ahead and get this box open. Inside the box, there's just some cardboard, as well as a couple of paper bags holding the figures and the accessories. In the accessory bag, we have 3 unhelmeted hits, 2 pistols, 2 rifles, 1 shotgun, 1 other tech-looking rifle that looks like an energy weapon, as well as 3 pairs of interchangeable hands. The 2 pistols are exactly the same sculpt, and we've seen these pistols released before with the Hellfire Club guards. The Shield agents come with 2 default trigger hands, so you can have one of them dual wielding the 2 pistols, or you can simply stow the pistols away on the holsters on their right thigh, so you can have both agents stowing the pistols in their holsters. The 2 rifles are also the same sculpt. We've also seen this before on the Hellfire Club guards as well as Deadpool action figures. These have some cool sculpting details such as the grip on the barrel, some sights at the back, as well as the butt over here. And you're free to pose the agents holding the rifles as you please. Next up is a tactical shotgun that we've seen on previous Punisher and Deadpool figures. There's a skinny lightweight butt at the back, as well as a vertical grip pump over here on the front, and sights on the top of the barrel. And of course, the Shield agent holds the shotgun just fine as well. And lastly, we have the high-tech blaster that looks like an energy weapon. Interesting detail like the chunky barrel on the front, a skeletal grip over here, as well as a magazine that's painted in red. And you can certainly get the Shield agent holding this high-tech weapon well enough. For the 3 unhelmeted hits, we have the Asian looking one, the African American one, as well as the Hispanic. So that's great options to add diversity to the Shield agents. All these hits come with a new digital printing technique, so you get really sharp features like the eyebrows, eyes, as well as the lips. There even appears to be a subtle bit of shading around the eyes on the Hispanic as well as the Asian looking head. The hair pieces on the Asian as well as the Hispanic head are separate, cast in a black plastic, and glued onto the heads. They've got nice texturing on them, for straighter hair on the Asian head and slightly more wavy on the Hispanic one. On the African American head, the hair is simply a short cropped style that's sculpted onto the head and painted in black, given a glossy finish as well as really sharply applied for the hairline. And of course, these heads pop on just fine onto the agents' bodies, and it also works on the older Shield agent from the Marvel Legends Giant Man Build-A-Figure wave. These unhelmeted hits do also pop onto other Marvel Legends bodies, so that is really a great deal of playability right there. And finally, we have a look at the 3 pairs of interchangeable hands. All the hands are cast in a white plastic. These hands are all articulated in as well as outward, with the exception of the single index finger pointing hand that articulates upwards as well as downwards. The gripping hands can be used to support the barrels of the 2 types of rifles that the Shield agents come with, and you can use the fist and pointing hands for other different poses. These hands also work with more recent Marvel Legends action figures like Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four Retro Wave. However, the new hands do not work on the older Shield action figure because their hands are not made to be removed. In terms of sculpting, the new Shield agent is almost a complete reuse of the older Marvel Legends Shield agent. The only difference is in the lower forearms as well as the hands. The older Shield agent also had a wash applied to the harnesses, belts, straps, and pouches. But the new Shield agent has completely clean belts as well as straps and pouches. I do like the wash on the old one, but the wash actually made all those straps kind of mismatched with the clean gloves and the boots. So the new clean look actually makes all the whites look more uniform across the entire figure. Besides the different colored visors, The blue used for the uniform is also different. The new one seems to have a richer blue, while the older one has a more muted shade of blue. So I don't mind the differences, but these different shades of blue might bug some collectors. Zooming into the sculpts of the helmets, I like that the old shield agent has some dry brush effect of the silver for certain parts of the helmet, and that really helps to bring out the details in the sculpting of that helmet. The new one is lacking those dry brush silver details, so that makes the helmet look a little dull. I also think that the red visor could have used a little bit more metallic sheen onto the red paint. Right now just having a flat red visor kind of looks a little strange as well. Next up, looking at the sculpt of the torso, you can clearly see that the old shield agent has more defined musculature, as well as this vein popping over here. But on the newer figure, the sculpting details appear less sharp. It's not a big deal, you can still see that vein over here, but it's less defined. Onto the harness, the pistol is now painted in silver as compared to the black on the old one. It's also missing some paint apps for the button for the pistol, as well as the pouch on the top of his shoulder. As you can see, the paint app over here, kind of a bluish silver for those buttons. The buckle on the middle of the harness is still painted, but this time it is also in silver instead of the bluish silver tone on the old one. Onto his shoulder, you can see that there is an improvement in technology over here, with Hasbro using a high resolution tempo print. You can even read off strategic, hazard, intervention, espionage, logistics, directorate. But on the older figure, the tempo is more simple, with a touch of red and blue on the middle of the logo. Down to the belts and pouches on their waist. Once again, we see the switching of the bluish silver into a more neutral silver over here, and it's also missing paint for the buttons on the pouches. The old one had paint applications for pouches on his waist belt, but those paint applications were also kind of random. They're missed on some, but applied on others. And now taking a closer look at his lower forearm as well, you can see the old one had a sculpted cuff for the glove at his wrist, but the new one is just a plain sculpted forearm with white paint to look like he's wearing longer gloves. And moving down to his legs, we can see the same omission for the paint apps on the buttons for those pouches. So it's slightly disappointing to lose out those paint applications, and the sculpting for the rest of the legs is essentially the same. But I have to say that Hasbro missed the opportunity to improve those undersized feet on this Bucky Cap mold. They should have used the improved bigger feet when re-releasing this mold, so that they could at least fix that issue with this body sculpt. In terms of articulation, his head is on a ball hinge, so that head goes all the way around. He's able to look down as well as up. Swivel hinge at the shoulders so the arms spin all the way around as well as come out that far. Upper bicep swivel, so 360. Double hinge at the elbows, so that gets you pretty good range. Swivel hinge at the wrist that spins 360. And since it's a trigger hand, Hasbro has rightly given articulation that goes upwards as well as downwards. He's got a mid-torso crunch, so he bends forward quite a lot as well as backward quite a fair bit. He's got a waist swivel that's hidden by that waist belt, so he goes 360. Ball jointed hips that go out that far. No problems forward and backward as well. There's an upper thigh swivel, so that's 360. Double hinge at the knee, so that's good range. Calf swivel just above the boot for 360 swivel. Ankle articulation upwards as well as downwards. And finally ankle pivot outwards as well as inwards. Size-wise, the shield agents stand at just over 6¼ inches or about 16 centimeters. For some size comparisons, here they are with the older Hasbro Marvel Legends Shield Agent and Dum Dum Dugan, Marvel Cinematic Universe Hydra Soldier, and the recent Villains Wave Red Skull, with the Hydra Soldier and the Hydra Brute, AIM Scientist and the Scientist Supreme, Black Widow and Iron Man, and Wolverine and Spider-Man. Here they are with some G.I. Joe Classified series and some Star Wars Black series. There are several missed opportunities with this 2-pack. Hasbro should have improved the small feet and applied paint applications to the small details in the harnesses and pouches. But apart from that, this 2-pack is a great way to build up a shield army. The unhelmeted hits are well executed and add some diversity to the shield ranks, and those hand options are a whole lot of fun. I can recommend this set not just to army build, but also because the hands and hits add playability to previous Marvel Legends action figures. Please like and share this video, let me know what you think in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel for more toy reviews. Thanks for watching, take care and stay safe.